talking to Dr. Donovan Thomas, the president and founder of Choose Life International. We're talking about suicide prevention, suicide awareness. What are some of the signs? What are some of the triggers? And what can people do? To whom can somebody speak? What is put in place for persons who feel like giving up with this COVID-19 pandemic? There are so many persons who are suffering in silence, suffering because of job loss, suffering with isolation, not being able to go around friends or family, going through very difficult financial times, emotional relationship, emotional turmoil, and in our culture, we can be very toxic and insensitive in some of our pronouncements. So there are persons who will say, any no pass the exam, hey, me kill ya, hey boy, me will kill ya, I want to ya, I want God dead, I want ya, God, and some persons, though it may be like water off a duck's back, some persons actually internalize those words. There are people, you what this? You're not turn out for me nothing, a minute over have your far. In relationships as well, couples to each other, man to woman or woman to man, can be very, toxic in terms of things that they say to each other. And there are many people who feel alone. They feel like they don't need to be a part of this world anymore. They have no purpose. They ought not to be here. But we want to reach out to somebody or anybody who may be feeling this way to tell you that you are not alone. You are valuable. You are valued. And once you can get the necessary help, we may be able to change your thought process and your life around. So many people struggle with addictive behaviors, anxiety disorder, bipolar disorder, eating disorder, depression, schizophrenia, and you can get help. And the Ministry of Health has a line that you can call. You can call them at 888 New Life. That is 888-639-5433. And so if you or someone may be suffering from depression, may feel like giving up, may feel like taking his or her own life or that of somebody else and then take them own life, then you can reach out and try to help them. Dr. Thomas, you're still there with us.
Yes, I'm still here, and you're doing such an excellent job.
Thank you so much.
I want to really just say to people, call that helpline. It is a 24/7 helpline. Professional counselors are there waiting to take your, they are doing other stuff, but they are there to take your call. If you call the line once, it's busy, or you don't get through first attempt, please call back.
Yeah.
I really endorse the work of the helpline here in Jamaica.
Absolutely great.
So we wanted to say, just go and get all the help possible.
Right.
I want to talk about a few things, and I don't know how much more time we have.
Well, we got to be out of here by 5, but go ahead, Doc.
And okay, so I want to talk about the PIN scale, and I want to say what to do if you are suicidal and what not to do, and want to talk about some protective factors.
Okay.
If we have enough time to do. So here's a PIN scale to do the assessment, developed by a man called Stephen Lansing.
Mm-hmm.
And the P is the plan. Does the person have the plan? I said earlier that the more detailed the plan, the closer the person is to the suicide act.
Yes.
The person knows the place, knows the time, and knows the method. Is more at risk than the person that feel like I just want to kill myself. Then the nearness of the method. Does the person already have the means? The I. Intensity of the method.
Yes.
How drastic is it? Is it? Many more women attempt suicide, but more.
We've lost Doc. I think the I just went. I'm not quite sure what happened, but we're going to get back. Doc is talking to us about the PIN, the plan, the intensity. And so if somebody says that they want to commit suicide, how do we treat with that? Do you just say, you're lucky, well, go on now. You're lucky, well, do it now. You want me to help you? All right, well, do what you have to do, And again, I want to make this point that I believe in discipline. But discipline is different from abuse. A lot of parents sometimes, the lines are blurred. When you discipline your children or your child, it is also important to reinforce that with love or to back it up with love. So what you have done is wrong, but you are not a bad person. And I'm disciplining you because I love you and because I want what is best for you. But you can't just rain down the terror and rain down the lick them and and I rain down the punishment, and you're not backing that up with love. So it is important to discipline your children, but it is also important to let them know that they are loved, they are cared for, they are wanted. It is important to show your partner respect and love. If your partner does something that may upset you, it's not every and anything that comes to your mouth you should say to them. If you feel like the respect and the love is gone, then it is time for you to move on to somebody else who you can show that love and respect. And so we have to be very mindful of the words that we say, be mindful of our actions, because people can internalize those actions and those words sometimes to their own detriment. Doc, you're back with us.
Yes.
Very well, sir. We're at the intensity.
Intensity of the method. Many more women attempt suicide, yet more men complete suicide.
Yes.
Because
why is that?
More drastic means. Men will use gun or rope. A lady may take an overdose.
Yes.
Or cut. And one young lady actually took an overdose, and she called my wife, Auntie Faith, I took an overdose and I changed my mind about killing myself. Men usually don't get that second chance.
Yeah.
All right. And then the N is the nearness of the method. Does the person already have the means of death? And so we have got to make an effort to separate the means of death from those persons. I was called to the home of somebody, a teen who was suicidal, and I discovered that his room was the closest room to the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to say to them, we really need to either get somebody to stay with him, lock up the kitchen properly, or relocate him.
Yes.
Those kinds of stuff. Separate him from nearness of the method. And S is the support system. The stronger the support system, the more resilience and the more likely the person will reach out for help.
Yeah.
And all of us, as you've been saying, we can speak into people's lives. You're valuable. You're capable. You're lovable. You may have failed your exam this time, but that does not make you a failure.
Yeah.
You can. Some of us have to try 3, 4, and 5 times
to
be able to make it. And those stories are really inspirational stories.
Yeah.
I want to move on now to talk about, so the PIN scale, the P is the plan, the I is the intensity of the method, the N is the nearness of the method, and S is the support system. It's one of the short assessment tools that we can all use.
Yes.
The professionals will get into more details, which we don't need to in this kind of forum.
Right.
So, I want to talk about what are some protective factors.
Mm-hmm.
Parental connectedness is a protective factor, and I mentioned that earlier, that where there's strong parental connection, there tends to be more resilience. Where there's school safety, teenagers will be more resilient in terms of just dealing with the issues of life, and also strong connection to non-parental adults.
Mm-hmm.
So where they are connected to the adult world, they feel some amount of significance, and there tends to be greater resilience. Then academic achievement, yes. People who do better academically tend to think better about themselves. There are greater self-concept, self-esteem issues, and so forth. Less self-esteem issues. They have a greater sense of who they are, and that in itself is a resilient factor.
Yeah.
Where our communities are safe, where our children are safe to play and just be free to be themselves without being abused. And I want to call upon the adult community to be protective of our children.
Yes.
Where there's an awareness of and access to local health services, that tends to be a protective factor, where they can pick up the line and call any hour of the day or night. They can pick up the phone, call the line any hour of the day or night. And then where there's closeness to friends.
All right, Doc, hold that thought right there. Let me take this time signal. We're talking to Dr. Donovan Thomas right here on Miss Kitty Live.
Shop for groceries at Hilo from the comfort of your own home, office, or while on the go. Send your grocery list to Hilo Delivery at gkco.com or via WhatsApp to 876-220-2463. Curbside pickup or grocery delivery from Hilo. Fast, reliable, convenient. Conditions apply. The time by Hilo Food Stores, making life easier, is
446. Dr. Thomas, right? So we talked about the pin scale. We talked about protective measures and what people should be looking out for. What else do you have to tell us?
Well, one other thing I want to say on the protective factor is that we need to encourage resilience.
Yes.
Parents and we shouldn't be solving the problems for the children all the time. Teach them to problem solve.
Yeah.
So that they are able to cope with the challenges of life when they're no longer under our care and those kinds of stuff. Then I want to talk with us. Oh, by the way, you were asking why is it that more men complete suicide compared to women. I gave you one reason.
Mm-hmm.
Men talk less. Men will internalize the thing more. And the woman is the female is the likely person to cry for help.
Yeah.
Then there's also a socialization factor, where many times we say to the boys, if 2 3-year-olds are playing and they both fall, we say to the girl, "Hush, darling, don't cry." We pick her up, boy, to the boys. "Oh shit, shut up, your name, man."
Mm-hmm. You have to grow tough.
Teaching our boys that it is inappropriate to express feelings.
Yes.
Tonight on our Zoom forum, that's Choose Life International Zoom forum, free of charge to everybody. That's going to be our topic: gender suicide. Since April, we have been doing these Zoom webinars, all kinds of resources available. Tonight, we're doing the 48th webinar. We've done 2, 3 or so on suicide prevention. When suicide comes to school, that's what we talked about last night, and that is available on our website for people who want to just visit there. There's much more that can be said than time we have right now, so I ask you to just connect with us and be empowered to be able to help. We want to just look at what not to do if somebody is suicidal.
Yes. And by the way, Doc, before you go, I'd like that Zoom link so persons listening to my show, watching on Instagram, watching on Facebook Live and on YouTube, can tune in tonight and be edified and get some information that they can use or they can even pass on to other persons.
Right. I will give you the ID number.
Yes, sir.
And the password. Thanks for asking about that. It is 516-152-2200.
Okay.
That's the ID, 516-152-2200. I think we have the capacity for 1,000.
Wow.
Right now. So last night we had almost 298, I think we had last night. The World Suicide Prevention Day webinar had over almost 800 on Zoom with some on YouTube too.
And what's the ID? What do we sign on to? Okay, the password
is Choose Life.
Choose Life.
Choose Life, all lowercase letters. But also we're going to be broadcasting on YouTube too. So let's go to the YouTube page, Choose Life International, and we'll be coming live at 6 o'clock this evening, 6 to about 7:30. We have persons who are going to be sharing. One man is going to be sharing about his encounter with suicidal thoughts and just just where he's at right now, how he recovered. And we have 2 professionals who are going to be making a presentation. We have time for question and answer and so forth.
Very well.
You are on the Zoom forum. So 516-152-2200 and password Choose Life.
At 6 p.m.
So,
very well. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Doc.
What not to do?
Yes.
Do not get trapped into secrecy. Somebody tells you that he or she feels like that he or she wants to hurt self. Don't just hug it up there.
Yes.
And cry for help.
Yes.
We should not say go ahead and try, because people may very well do that. Do not ignore a threat. Every threat must be taken seriously. Do something. Call the helpline. Report it to an adult if you're a child and so forth. Talk to somebody who can help you. Do not say how much friends and family will be hurt. Many times people are hurt in the context of family, and saying that to them would more propel them, because that's what they want to. They want to get back at a mother who seems to be uncaring or insensitive.
Yes, a father that has abandoned them. So really saying that is just giving them the impetus to do it even more.
Right.
Yes.
Do not look shocked or embarrassed at anything. One young man called his classmate some time ago and said, "Andrea," of course not her real name, "you ever think about killing yourself?" And Andrea said, "Me? After me no mad." But with that, he just shut up. He never spoke about his suicidal thoughts any longer.
Yes.
Anymore, until he actually had a crash, had a car crash, and then he survived it, was driving his father's car, and actually decided to kill himself.
Yes.
So don't look shocked or embarrassed. Many times people are testing us to say, can you really deal with the harsh realities of life? And if you look, what, really? That, you mean all of that you're going through? And it may just be the surface of what they want to dig deep and to tell you.
Yes.
Do not get into an argument. Do not try to solve the person's problem on your own. Get help. We want to say, if you are suicidal, share your feelings with someone responsible. And then said someone responsible. Because we have found that there are times when people share their thoughts about suicide with other people who themselves are suicidal. And on the internet, sometimes people come together and make suicide pacts. And
wow, that is happening, Doc?
Yeah. That's part of what is happening.
Oh.
So we want to share feelings with someone responsibly, a guidance counselor, a pastor, a police officer, parents, just people who you know love and care about you.
Yes.
Hand over any weapon that you have. Right now you may be listening and you may be thinking about killing yourself. Hand over that weapon that you may have. Disclose your plans to a trusted friend. Resist any temptation to be alone. Remember that suicide causes more problems, not solutions. Remember, suicide is permanent. Your problem is only temporary. Insist that you will not obey that voice. There are people who care about you. We care about what's going on with you. We ask you to call that helpline, 888-NEW-LIFE, 888-639-5433. Get the help you need and step into somebody's world. The more you empower, the more you deal with your own issues, the more you get past your past, the more you are truthful and honest about your own reality,
yes,
the more you are able to help others. So your pain has purpose. We have heard some of those persons who have lost loved ones to suicide, or persons who have attempted on our forums just share their own experiences, and many of them who have suffered loss of loved ones or who themselves have been suicidal are now able to help others.
Very well. I got to tell you, Doc, and I'm happy that you have articulated those thoughts so very well, coming from a professional, somebody who is in the field, somebody who would have dealt with persons or still deal with people who have these suicidal thoughts. And after reading, acknowledging Suicide Prevention Day last Thursday, I said to myself, I think that this is a topic that deserves some time. And there is no time like the present, because I am sure if there is one person who was thinking about it or is thinking about committing suicide, taking their own life, I hope that this show today would have deterred them from that, and so they know that they are valuable. We love them. Everybody goes through their downtime, goes through their bad patch. You think that, oh my God, I'm going through the worst time. But time heals, and when you're alive and you overcome those difficulties, you can live to strengthen somebody else, and you can be a testimony that there is life after the storm. And with people around you, getting the right help, speaking to the right responsible people, the professional persons, you can live another day and live so that your life can be a testimony that persons can make it even during difficult times. Again, Doc, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing with us this afternoon. We sincerely appreciate your guidance and the information that you have disseminated this afternoon. And again, please, for my listeners and my viewers, tell us the ID number and the password that we can tune into, and I will repeat the suicide helpline that is provided by the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Before I actually share those numbers again and password, I want to say to us the Bloomberg report of May 8th says the next COVID crisis could be a wave of suicide.
Wow.
This is not something that we should take lightly. Don't assume that your friend is not is doing okay.
Yeah.
Don't assume that even your child or your spouse is doing okay.
And don't assume that you are doing okay to doc, because
Don't
sometimes
assume
we,
that-
you know, we are caregivers, especially the women, and we don't tune into our own hurt, our own emotions. We put them aside because you have the children to take care of, you have the husband to take care of, you have the job to take care of, and we neglect our own self, our own emotional pain and hurt, and the men too, because you are called upon to look invincible or seem invincible and seem like Superman. You know, you don't even get in touch with your own feelings and pain.
People who feel suicidal do not want to be alone. They do not want to be advised. They do not want to be interrogated.
Yeah.
They're looking for someone to listen. They're looking for someone to trust. They're looking for someone to care. You can make a difference. I want to remind you, if you're out there, that it doesn't matter what you have been through, you have not lost any value. Think about holding a $5,000 bill in your hand, Miss Kitty. Crush it. Throw it on the ground.
Step on it.
How much is it?
$5,000 same way.
5,000 same way. So you have not lost any value. So rise up out of your pain. May purpose be fulfilled in your life.
I don't know what happened, but the devil is a liar, and we're going to tune in this evening at 6 o'clock to Dr. Thomas and the Choose Life International Forum that they're going to be having on Zoom. The ID number is 516-152-2200. The password is Choose Life, all lowercase letters, and he's also on YouTube, and so you can find him there at Choose Life International. It is free, and I want persons to go on it. And again, even if you're not suicidal, it is information. And remember, we started the show by saying that knowledge is power, because you never know when you will have to intervene, or you may be called upon, or somebody may confide in you that they're feeling suicidal, or you yourself might be so overwhelmed with all that you are going through, with all that you're experiencing, and this knowledge may make the difference between taking your own life or continuing to live life and love life. I want to say thanks to Dr. Donovan Thomas for coming on my show today, for sharing with us this afternoon, and I hope that the information that you would have heard this afternoon would have been of some help to you, and may make the change, and may make that be that turnaround, and give you that courage that you need to continue living.